Hey, this is Brian Wright from BrianWright732.com, WrightPartnersInc.com, and BrianWright732.com. I'm sorry that the audio quality is not the best today. There's a little bit of background noise. It's freaking cold here, so I've got the heaters kicking in. But the thing we want to talk about today is really understanding that gratitude is a massive part of doing business. It is not just a philosophical term, but it's actually, a tactical response to the needs of your business. If you are a gracious owner of a business, if you are a gracious manager, a gracious salesperson, meaning that you're someone that lets your employees, your customers, your supply chain people, everyone that you do business with, you let them know that you appreciate them and why, they will have a better understanding of what your relationship is. And by having a clear understanding of your relationship, it allows everyone to act with more information and with more knowledge. And the key to relationships really is understanding where everything is. If you take the ambiguity and the guessing out of things, you have an opportunity to be more successful. One of the hurdles I've run into in the past is that when you have a micromanaging boss that feels that information is, this proprietary thing, they end up undereducating their employees, and they start getting into that mindset of like, why can't they read my mind? Why can't they organically just understand? And it's really just an excuse to have poor training, to have poor communication, to isolate themselves in their management bubble and not deal with the people below them appropriately. It turns into a lot of, I don't know why you do this, or I can't believe you don't understand, which is a lot of just negative talk that doesn't really get anywhere. So the more, business intelligent you can make your relationships, the easier it is to talk about stuff, because it's, hey, I really did express to you that I appreciated that you did this. Now you've stopped doing it. I don't really understand why. And it gives an opportunity for someone to explain their positions or come to terms with the fact that they're not fulfilling your needs the way they used to. And coming from it from a more positive place allows you to have a greater chance at a positive resolution, and also puts you in a place where you can truly judge your relationships. If you're constantly just hammering away at people and not giving them the information they need, you're not really judging, you're just hammering. And you're not giving them the opportunity to fully explore their positions based upon, an understanding of what has to get done. So you explain to them, why the relationship is important, what the positives of this relationship are on the overall business. Everybody starts to act accordingly. And if they're not acting accordingly, it makes it a lot easier for you to change your situation, where you could either train an employee, fire an employee, replace an employee, shift the employee to a different position. Understand your own relationship with your vendors so that you can create a better relationship with a vendor, replace a vendor. With customers, it's the same sitch. It's all about what are you doing for them. So understanding your relationship with them constantly keeps you wary of, what their needs are and how you're going to keep them happy, so that you can continue to have a long-term customer base instead of a super, super high turnover. And that's really the sitch here, is that if I can express my gratitude for people, I will be able to have a longer term relationship. So I will spend less time replacing these people in my world, so that I will always have customers, I will always have employees, I will always have vendors to work with. I'm not constantly going to be searching, which takes up a massive amount of time, which takes up a massive amount of money as well. That's a huge advertising budget that you can cut into, because you have a customer base that's growing organically because they're so happy about your relationship and they're expressing themselves to the people in their world, which brings them back to you, and on and on and on. So gratitude is not just some philosophical term about, shaping the universe, because if anyone watches my videos, you know how I feel about, the whole secret concept and the universe conforming to your desires. It's all bullshit. What you really have to do is you have to shape the world around you to understand, you, and people to feel good about you, and you have to feel good about them. And by creating these positive ties of clear communication, everything starts to grow on its own. And then you get more time back, you spend less money, your business does better. Aren't these the things that originally we were setting out to do together here? We want the time, we want the security. These are all the things that gratitude can bring you, if executed properly. So when someone does something, don't just think about it, actually express it. Get in the habit of sending people emails, contacting them on the phone, shaking their hand in person and saying, hey, thanks a lot for doing this, because light bulb goes off in the person's head. Everybody likes to be praised. Everybody likes positive communication. So if I'm working with you and you come to me and say, hey, you know what you did yesterday? That really helped me out. Trust me, I will continue to do that. And then I will try and build upon that because, you got some positive energy points in my world. And I say positive energy. Again, this is not some new agey holistic thing. This is actual psychology. When people give you positive feedback on something, it tends to register. If someone gives you negative feedback, it registers as well. And depending upon the person, the negative could actually have a higher value to them than the positive. So you got to really stay on the positive, minimize the negative, and keep everybody focused on what has to get done. And if they don't have the ability to get it done, then you have a clear judgment scale where you can come back to them and say, look, I told you consistently this is what I needed. And, point it out and give them the real roadmap of how we got to that point where you can say, look, you just obviously are not interested in doing this, don't have the ability to do it or whatever, but I've communicated to you, I've educated you, I've given you every chance, so we're going to have to move on here. That's a good way to fire somebody. The worst situation is when you have to walk into a room and you have to fire somebody that wasn't trained by management properly and that they've expressed their frustrations time and time again and they've gotten no support and they're getting left holding a bag for a failing aspect of a business that the business never really helped them on. And if you're the person that's do the firing, at that point it's like, look, management's made a decision. We have to move on from here, and you really don't have a discussion. They're probably going to yell at you or, cry or be upset, and, you've got to take that and go with it. But if you have the ability to come in and clearly lay out the path and say, look, we've really done everything we can do here, and we're either going to transition you or we don't have a place for you because you're a liability to our company now. At least, no matter how it goes from that person's reaction, you'll be able to have a clear conscience about how it was done. And that's how we do ethical business. We operate in a way that is very transparent, that is very clear, that gets people to understand what our needs are. And when they achieve our needs, we show our appreciation for it. Simple as that. It's really not that hard. Gratitude is a tactic. It is not a philosophical concept. You really have to get in the habit of it. So explore that and then take a look at your life and say, hey, am I thanking the people I need to thank? Am I giving them the roadmap to success? Or am I sitting back and wishing and hoping that they're just naturally going to do it? Because I'm so selfish, I don't want to give up my time, which is going to make them more effective, which is in the end going to give me more time. So see how that works. Let go of, the constraints that you've got that stop you from communicating today. So you're going to get more free time, a more educated, happier relationship with your vendors, with your customers, and your staff. Simple as that. I hope my message was clear. See you later.